War has shaped human history more than anything else. Nations rise, empires fall, and millions pay the price. These are the 10 biggest wars the world has seen, measured by death toll, destruction, and global impact. The Afghan War, 2001-2021. After 9/11, the US invaded Afghanistan to fight terrorism. The mission: destroy Al-Qaeda and remove the Taliban regime. The war lasted 2 full decades, the longest ever. Over 40 countries were involved during the conflict. Tens of thousands of civilians lost their lives. US troops finally withdrew in August 2021. The Taliban regained control shortly after withdrawal. Over 240,000 people were killed in total. Next, Europe's most ambitious general tried to conquer everything. The Napoleonic Wars, 1803 to 1815. Napoleon Bonaparte led France against almost all of Europe. He fought Britain, Austria, Russia, Prussia, and many others. These wars changed military tactics and revolutionized warfare forever. Napoleon built an empire through lightning-fast campaigns. He crowned himself emperor in 1804 in Paris. After many victories, he was defeated at Waterloo. The wars killed between 3.5 to 6 million people. Europe was never the same again after Napoleon's fall. Let's look at one of history's bloodiest civil wars. The Russian Civil War, 1917 to 1923. The Russian Revolution overthrew the Tsar in 1917. But what followed was a brutal civil war. The Red Army communists fought the White forces. Foreign countries like Britain and Japan got involved. Entire cities starved or froze through harsh winters. Millions died from disease, executions, and famine. An estimated 7 to 12 million people died. In the end, the Soviets seized full control. Now, to a 30-year religious nightmare in Europe, the 30 Years' War 1618-1648 started as a Catholic versus Protestant conflict in Germany, but quickly spread across all of Central Europe. Nations joined in for religion, power, or revenge. Battles, famine, and disease wiped out entire populations. Some regions lost more than half their people. Over 8 million died. Most were civilians. The Peace of Westphalia ended the war in 1648. It helped shape the modern nation-state system we know. Let's head to China for a lesser-known civil war. The Taiping Rebellion, 1850 to 1864. A man claimed he was Jesus Christ's younger brother. He started a rebellion against the ruling Qing dynasty. He created the Heavenly Kingdom of Great Peace. The rebellion spread across southern and central China. Fierce battles raged for over a decade. Cities were burned and millions were displaced. 20 to 30 million people died during the war. It's one of history's deadliest conflicts, mostly forgotten today. Now to the first modern global war in history. World War I, 1914 to 1918. The war started after the assassination of Franz Ferdinand. Alliances triggered a chain reaction across Europe. Trench warfare defined the Western Front, muddy and deadly. Tanks, machine guns, and gas changed warfare forever. Over 65 million soldiers fought in this war. More than 15 million people were killed worldwide. The Ottoman and Austro-Hungarian empires collapsed by the end. World War I set the stage for even worse. Meanwhile, China saw deadly wars of conquest. Qing dynasty conquests, 1600s to 1700s. The Qing Empire fought to unite all of China. They battled Mongols, Tibetans, and loyalists of the Ming. Campaigns lasted decades and were brutally efficient. Entire regions were depopulated by war and massacre. Over 25 million people were killed during expansion. These wars secured Qing control over modern Chinese territory. The empire would rule China until the 20th century. Its conquests were among the bloodiest in world history. Now to Japan's brutal invasion of China. Second Sino-Japanese War 1937-1945. Japan launched a full invasion of China in 1937. The conflict later merged with World War II. Cities like Shanghai and Nanjing were devastated. The Nanjing Massacre killed over 200,000 civilians. Mass rapes, forced labor, and famine followed the invasion. China resisted for 8 years with massive casualties. An estimated 20 to 25 million people died. The war ended after Japan's surrender in 1945. Let's move to the deadliest war in human history. World War II, 1939 to 1945, began when Germany invaded Poland in September 1939. Soon, the entire world was pulled into war. The Axis powers faced off against the Allies. Battles raged in Europe, Africa, and the Pacific. The Holocaust killed 6 million Jewish people. The US dropped atomic bombs on Japan in 1945. Over 85 million people died in the war. It changed politics, power, and the world forever. But long before all this came the Mongols. The Mongol conquests, 1206 to 1368. Genghis Khan united Mongol tribes into one deadly force. The Mongols swept through Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Cities were destroyed, populations massacred without mercy. They built the largest land empire in history. Trade flourished, but so did death and destruction. An estimated 40 to 60 million people died. The Mongols forever changed global warfare and geography. Their legacy still echoes through Eurasian history today. War has shaped everything from borders to belief systems. These 10 conflicts changed the world in violent ways. Which war shocked you the most on this list? Drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe for more.